is caring mode here, so stay with us, please. Everyone is doing great tonight. We will be right with you as we go ahead and share with our groups here. We'll be on with you in a couple of seconds, so everybody please stand by here. So let us go ahead and just keep sharing this with you for a couple minutes, and then we will go ahead and get back with you. So bear with me, folks, just for a minute, and I'll be with you as we go through our good old stuff here. And we're just sharing for a minute, so everybody please bear with us. Please bear with us here. Okay. We're just about ready, folks. Get all our baseball groups on for tonight. All right. We're just about ready to begin here. Just looking for 2 more groups and we'll be ready, folks. There's one of them. And last but not least, and we'll be all set. Thank you all for hanging in there with me while we share this. All right, one more, and we are ready to begin our program. All right, let's go ahead and do this. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Frankly Speaking Sports. Want to thank you all so very, very much for being with us this evening. What a great, great show we have planned for you today. We want to remind you that today's show is sponsored by Beef O'Brady's in Seffner, Florida. And for those of you in Seffner, Florida, this is the one located on Martin Luther King and Parsons Avenue. We later on today will be giving away a $10 gift certificate. Good for dine-in, carry out at the Beef O'Brady's in Seffner, Florida. Beef O'Brady's, great food, great drinks, great service. It's Beef O'Brady's. Want to welcome everybody to the show tonight. My name is Larry Frank. Hope everybody is doing well today. We are just learning. We are on a new platform today. So for all of you folks that are with us today, thank you so very much for joining us. Want to remind you in 30 minutes, we're going to have a great, great guest for you tonight. Tonight, we are going to have Rookie of the Year pitcher in 1976 for the Big Red Machine. He went to the World Series, won Rookie of the Year, and also been to the All-Star game. Pat Zachary is going to be joining us in about 30 minutes. Now, for all of you that are watching today, we want to remind you and ask you for a big favor. If you can please go ahead and as I do this, go ahead and share this to your page, please. You would be doing me a big, big favor if you can do that for me. All right, I got that in there correctly. Okay, so I want to thank you all once again. If you can please do that for me, I greatly appreciate it. Boy, are we getting big. Look at this. We are getting so big here that it's incredible. We have a new platform, a bunch of new things. We can do interviews now with folks. If they want to go ahead and chat with us, you can leave messages here. We are now live. We are on TV. We are actually right now filming live on YouTube. We are filming live here in BeLive Studios and our Frankly Speaking Sports television studios, now located in Tampa, Florida. So I want to take the time to thank all of my fans who have made this day possible. We are getting bigger. We can bring people on now, and we can do all sorts of things. Do me a favor. Leave it in the comments section how you folks like what's going on today. If you like the new stuff, if you don't like the new stuff. So I want to really thank you all. I can see some messages. Welcome, Buck Dad to the show. I want to, thank him very much. There's a lot of people that we want to thank for doing some great, great things here. It's just amazing that everybody is. I just put a link up. If you want to join us on the show, as long as I can see you, there is a link. Now you can be a guest live on television. Just a great, great day for Frankly Speaking Sports. But, we want to start off to today's broadcast with some sad, sad news in the world of, sports today, as former Georgetown head coach John Thompson passed away at 78. John Thompson coached Georgetown when the Big East was really, really at its peak in the 1980s. He not only did he have teams that dominated, but he had such players as Patrick Ewing, Alonzo Mourning. I believe Allen Iverson was on that team as well. And he also won the 1984 college basketball championship. So, sad news. What a great, great coach. I remember watching him in the Big East when you had St. John's had Louis Conaseca. I believe Villanova had Massey Malamino. Jim Boeheim was up there in one of the schools. Just amazing, amazing coaches in that Big East. And we're just so, so sorry to see such a legendary basketball coach like John Thompson pass away. So John Thompson, the great, great coach. Okay, there we go. See, it's a new thing, so I'm going to have some quirks, but I want to thank you all for sticking with me tonight. Also, as we get into it, we're going to talk about different guests. We got lots and lots and lots of things to talk about tonight. And I think the big news in the Tampa Bay area, obviously, is going to be the Tampa Bay Lightning, who right now it looks like, and I'm looking over, that's why you see me doing that, it's 1-1 in the third. I believe it's in the third right now with 17:04 left in the regulation time. It is 1-1. We will keep you updated on that game. But overall, the Lightning are leading the series now 3 games to, believe it's 3 games to 1 right now that the Lightning are leading. And, great play by Kucherov, great play by Palat. Palat scored a goal tonight. That whole entire line, Palat, Point, Kucherov, are just playing amazing. And, let's not forget Andre Vasilevsky. Andre Vasilevsky is just doing an awesome, awesome job in that. And I tell people, it's kind of like baseball a little bit. I always said when I coach baseball, I don't care what a guy's batting average is. I care what does he do when the game counts. And that's just like hockey. I don't care if Andre Vasilevsky gets 100 saves a game. I want to know, what does he do when it counts? And I'll tell you what he does. He's unbelievable when it counts. And, he's the reason why the Lightning are up 3-1. But it's good to see some other guys like Shen and Shatterneck, who got a assist today off the Palat goal, doing well. Coleman doing well. Gore doing well. So some great things going on for the Lightning. And, it's real simple. This is a different team, a completely different team than that played the Blue Jackets right now. Just like Boston is a different team. Blue Jackets were a little defensive pests that stuck in the game. And, I think the Lightning are playing their game instead of falling into the Lightning's game. They're not, taking, for the most part, dumb penalties, which Philadelphia has done, and we're capitalizing. We're starting to play great hockey. Unbelievable pressure that they're putting on. They now have 17 shots on goal. I think the Bruins have 28. So Vasilevsky just with an excellent game in goal tonight. So we'll keep you updated. It's 1-1 right now in that game, and we'll keep you updated as the day goes by. I want to make sure we hit on all the news before we get to Pat Zachary. And once again, for those of you just joined us, Pat Zachary, 1976 Rookie of the Year, World Series champ, 1976 with the Big Red Machine, most famously known for the individual that was involved in the trade that sent Tom Seaver from the Mets to the Cincinnati Reds. So, we'll definitely have a great time here. Once again, we are learning some new stuff here. We do have some information for those of you that are watching on YouTube. Welcome, YouTube. I love you very much. I'm so glad we're able to have you on, as well as all the people from the different Facebook groups. This is just a great day right now for all of us. And we want to thank you all for tuning in. We want to let you know now you can go to a sports bar, whether it's the Beef O'Brady's in Sefton, Florida, or any other one, and now watch us on TV. Go into your local sports bar. Say, do me a favor, go to Frankly Speaking Sports on YouTube. Most of these bars have smart TVs right now, so they're able to go ahead and watch our show live. Thank you very much. Boy, are we really, making it big time. Now, I got a question earlier today, and we talked a little bit now about the Lightning, but I want to switch gears for a minute to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And, obviously today, if you have not heard, and I'm sure by now you have heard, but if you haven't heard, Leonard Fournette was released by the Jacksonville Jaguars earlier today. And it raised a lot of questions now on whether should the Bucs not go after Leonard Fournette. And, it's a great question. And I'm going to put it to you, in real simple terms about Leonard Fournette. Remember, Leonard Fournette is a decent runner. He has the ability to be real successful. The thing about Leonard Fournette that really worries me right now is that he's been a problem. He's had some problems early in his career. You saw him on the bench one game when he wasn't playing, joking around why his players are in the trenches and sweating it out and doing all those things. So, he's missed some practices. He's been suspended. He got in a fight. So there's a lot of issues there, but you can't take away the talent this guy has. Now, personally, I don't think if he's going to be a headache, I don't see it being a good fit for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The last thing you need is someone to come in and cause a fiasco and ruin all this terrific, great chemistry we have going for us right now. Now, on the other hand, here is a guy who has the ability to catch the football out of the backfield. One of the things the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are lacking. They are not happy with Ronald Jones, the way he is catching the ball out of the backfield. They like his style of running, but he drops a lot of passes. And Bruce Arians has made it very clear that he does not like a one-dimensional style running back. For that reason, remember, Fournette also rushed for over 1,100 yards last year in 2019, had 76 receptions for 522 yards. So almost 2,000 yards, all-purpose yards for Leonard Fournette. So you can't take away, his ability to, play the game. I was reading a message that said Tampa wins, but not yet, guys. But I'll keep you posted. There's 14 minutes left in the third period. But as far as Leonard Fournette goes, I don't think you can keep McCoy, Fournette, and Jones. Some people will say why. It's just too much. I don't think there's room enough for all three of those backs to play, which means if you get Fournette, somebody has to go. And, McCoy's can catch the ball out of the backfield. Bruce Arians is making these tough calls. He is not afraid to get rid of someone. Look what he's doing with the kicking game right now. And we talked about this on a previous show. I said to you all, listen to me, he's not going to stand for this inconsistency in practice. And what did he do? He brought in Ryan Shoop and this guy, Parkley from Chicago to put some pressure on these guys. So right now, we don't know who our kicker is going to be, as far as, this year with field goal kicking. And I'm still telling you, Buccaneer fans, if I'm the coach, you have nothing to lose by going out there, grabbing Steven Gostkowski, who used to kick with Tom Brady, who used to play with Rob Gronkowski, and give him a shot as well. What do you got to lose? The guy hit 479 extra points in a row before faltering a little bit last year and missing a couple in a row where people got all excited. For those of you joining us on all our different networks, I want to let you know that in about 10 to 15 minutes, we're going to have Pat Zachary on the phone. Want to remind you all, if you want to go ahead and get involved, join the show, you can do so. Leave a message. I'll be more than happy to answer it. I'm trying to give you a link right now here. Okay, there we go. If you guys would like to join us, here's a link right here that you could go ahead and join me as a guest. There it is. You can join me live on this link. So if you want to be a guest, you want to ask me a question about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, if you want to ask me about the Lightning or the Tampa Bay Rays, just go ahead and ask me. I'll be more than happy to answer those questions. But going back to my question, or the question earlier is, Fournette, I don't know if he'd be a great fit. I'm okay either way with it, but as far as I'm concerned, you don't want to bring bad chemistry into the place. And that's just my opinion right now. So, I love to get some more opinions here as I scroll down and read some more messages. Let's see if I could hide this now. Okay. As I learn my new, right here, we got a good little message from, Buck Dad, no Fournette. All right. So Buck Dad says no Fournette. So we got some YouTube folks chiming in. They were talking about John Thompson. He was a great coach. My prayers go out to his entire family. So, some good responses from the fans here. Want to let you know the game is still tied up 1-1. The Lightning and the Boston Bruins with about 12 and a half minutes left in the game. We will keep you posted. Now, the one other thing that we're not going to talk about loud. I'm going to get a quick update for you here and see if the score, yeah, it still is. What can you say about the Tampa Bay Rays? I mean, what can you say? This team is just incredible. What is their record? They're 24-11, and they're beating the Yankees again tonight by the score of 5-0 at Yankee Stadium. So just a great. There we go. Keep my eyes on these messages. There's someone that says Tampa wins 3-1. That was the one I was telling you about earlier. So as I learn all this new equipment, hopefully you folks are enjoying this show and it sounds great to you. In about 10 minutes, we'll have Pat Zachary on. We'll talk to him. But as far as the Rays go, winning 5-0, they're 24-11. Believe they're like 4 games up on the Yankees. They just traded Jose Martinez, which was not a big move. No, nothing to cry over. But, and they keep winning. And, I've been the biggest advocate, the guy who criticizes Kevin Cash the most. I don't like the way he uses the pitching staff. But right now, you can't complain. You got to understand, this team has 11 pitchers, mostly bullpen, a couple of starters that have been hurt, and they keep on winning. Can you imagine what this team is going to do when they get some of these pitchers back? It's just incredible what Kevin Cash is doing with these young arms and young players. Brought up Arizema yesterday. O'Grady is now playing. This team is unbelievable. Josh Fleming came in the other day, pitched a terrific game, won 4-0. And, we talked about winning series. That's what it is all about. Taking these series and winning these series. And it's just unbelievable how the Rays keep winning series. And they're winning the games now that they need to win. Versus Baltimore, which is a team they should have beat. Toronto, those are games they got to win. And they're doing a great job with it. I'm just looking at the time as we got a little bit of time before Pat Zachary comes on. Tomorrow night, guys, for those of you, and I know you can see it on the bottom of the screen, right now, going forward, it's tough to share with every Facebook group. As you can see, I did it at the beginning of the show, sung a couple of lullabies, but for those of you that want to see these shows on a nightly basis that belong to another group, it's okay to join Frankly Speaking Sports as well. Don't think you can't join because you're part of another group. It's okay. I deal with all sorts of sports. Look at our guest tonight, Pat Zachary, former Reds, former New York Mets. Wednesday night, yes, we dedicate the show to Buccaneer football, and we will announce tomorrow our guest for Wednesday's Crew Life presentation of Frankly Speaking Bucks. But that's what we try to do. And in order for you to see these shows, these terrific shows that are being put on, unless you have YouTube, it's going to be through Frankly Speaking Sports on our Facebook group. And you can be a member also of Frankly Speaking Sports on our YouTube channel. Some great shows coming up tomorrow night. Harold Kuntz, and I think he got me a message right here. Let's see what the big guy has to say right now. We'll see if he's all right. There you go. And tomorrow, he's just confirming that we'll meet tomorrow. Harold Kuntz. Who is Harold Kuntz? Well, I'm about to tell you. Harold Kuntz is the big sports anchor of Fox 4 News out of Kansas City. We're going to be talking about the Kansas City Chiefs. We're going to be talking about Patrick Mahomes. We're going to be talking about Kelsey. We're going to be also talking a little bit about the Kansas City Royals, who just traded Rosenthal. So it's great to, have different teams on and different, just so we get to know them and learn about the Chiefs. Then, after he is finished, we're going to have Dan Harrigan He is an insider for the Tampa Bay Lightning, writes unbelievable articles. If you belong to Frankly Speaking Sports, you'll see some of his great articles on our page. Just amazing. And both of those guys will be live per video. So we will be using a video tomorrow where we actually have them come on the show, and there will actually now we will be doing some of our interviews live per video, some per phone, whichever the guest prefers, we will be doing to accommodate our guests. So a lot of exciting things happening here on Frankly Speaking Sports. Tonight's our real first night of using this system. So if you see me a little slow pushing buttons doing this, I'm the producer and the host, so I get a little bit extra work to do. You can see our brand new logo. I want to thank my buddy Brian, who does all the logos for the Crew Life platform. You can see it. I believe it's in the corner right now. Frankly Speaking Sports. I'm being told it's going to be very shortly where we're going to have shirts made up. So we're looking into doing that. So a lot of great things going on with Frankly Speaking Sports. So tomorrow night, once again, it's Harold Kuntz and Dan Harrigan. Hope you all will enjoy it. What a great time it would be if the Lightning can pull this game out tonight and we get Dan on tomorrow night. So just an amazing. We got some already stuff lined up for next week. One of the things we're starting to do on Thursday nights, starting next week, whoever the opponent is that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are playing. For example, they are playing New Orleans Saints to open up their season. So next Thursday, what we're going to do is we're going to have a beat reporter from the New Orleans Saints join us Thursday night. That, I believe, will be John Hendricks. So he'll be joining us next Thursday night, and then so on and so on. Whoever the next game is, we'll be trying to get that individual for that respective team to do an interview with us so we can do a preview of, like, next Thursday, we'll preview. You'll get my thoughts on the Buccaneers, and you'll get John's on the New Orleans Saints. It should be a great show for you all. It is 1-1, Tampa Bay and Boston, with 8:30 left in the third period in regulation time. We will keep you updated. We're a couple minutes away from Pat Zachary coming on the phone. Once again, I'm here. If anybody wants to talk, anybody wants to be a guest on the show, it's a new feature we have. You can go to the link that is now on the screen. Frankly Speaking Sports says join me live on this link, and you can join us live. Love to have somebody, come on, let's talk, ask a question. We'll get you in, we'll get you out. Let me know your name. Let me know where you're from. Otherwise, just like Buck Dad did and a bunch of my YouTube folks have done, go ahead and leave a message under the message link. I mean, there's got to be people out there that have questions. One of the things we're trying to make this show as interactive as possible for the fans. This is the fans' show. This is what created this show. This is how we got big. Not because of me. It's because of the people that listen to the show, that get involved, and that interact with the show. Also, if you're a YouTube user and you're responding, if you can say your name and where you're from, you have a possibility tonight to win a $10 gift certificate to the Beef O'Brady's in Sefner, Florida. We'd love to give that out. It doesn't do me any good to hang on to those. So go ahead and, ask me a question. Let me know where you're from. And we will go ahead and try to give away $10. As with 7:57 left in the third period, the Tampa Bay Lightning have scored, and they have made it 2-1. So I know it was Hedman who shot the puck, and it looks like it was tipped in. I can't see. It looks like 71. If that's Coleman or whoever, but the Lightning do take the lead. I'm going to see if I can see it right now. No, that was Cirelli. So Cirelli tipped it in, gets the goal for the Lightning, and the Lightning take a 2-1 lead with 7 minutes left. If the Lightning should go on to win this game, they will win the series and play the winner of the Philadelphia New York Islanders series, where the Islanders are now leading that series 3-1. So with 7 minutes left in the game, we'll see if the Lightning can go ahead, hold on. We got about 4 minutes, and Pat Zachary will be on the line with us. So we're going to try to give you a little insight on what's going on with the Tampa Bay Lightning as Cirelli scores and Pilato also scored. So we'll try to keep you updated for the next couple minutes on the Tampa Bay Lightning game. So that we can go ahead and then on the phone with us. So anybody that's on, go ahead and comment. Yes, my YouTube user who doesn't have a name. So let me know your name, because if you're right, you're definitely getting this $10 gift certificate. Let me know where you're from. It's I'm not sure. It doesn't tell the name. But there it is right there, our YouTube user. Remember, he did say, or she did say, that the game would end 3-1. So we want to go ahead and make sure you get this certificate. So let us know your name, and then I'll tell you how to instant message me on Facebook on Frankly Speaking Sports. So make sure you join Frankly Speaking Sports, and we'll make sure we take care of you. So we'll see if this gentleman's right. I hope he is right. It's just about 6 minutes left in the game, with the Lightning winning 2-1. So we're going to keep you posted while we got another couple of minutes before Pat gets on the phone. Now they just got to be smart. And that's one thing about the Lightning. They did last game very well. It'd be great to get another goal, an insurance goal. But once they start pulling that goalie, you got to just get smart. You don't want any stupid penalties now with under 6 minutes left in the game. You want to be smart. You got the best goalie in the league in Vasilevsky, who just made a save on a slap shot. This should be a win for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Now we got just 5:28 left in the game. The Lightning have been outshot 31-21. But remember, it's not the amount of shots, it's the amount of goals. And right now, the Lightning have more than the Boston Bruins and are leading 2-1. So we will keep you posted while we wait for Pat Zachary. In a minute, I will give him a call. We'll get Pat on the phone, and we'll see what we can do. As it is under 5 minutes left in the game, the Lightning are leading. So let's go ahead. Let's see if we can go ahead and get Pat on the phone with us. So I'm going to give him a call right now. As I look up his number here. Of course, his letter has to begin with P, so I have to go to the end here. Let's go ahead and get Pat on the phone.
Voice message system.
All right, we'll give it a couple seconds for Pat. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome in on the Frankly Speaking Sports Beef O'Brady's Hotline. Let's welcome in the 1976 Rookie of the Year and World Series champion. Let's welcome in Pat Zachary on our phone. Pat, how are you doing tonight, buddy?
Hey, I'm sitting up here in my bed, comfortable as I can be.
Well, Pat, we want to first of all thank you so very much for joining us on Frankly Speaking Sports tonight.
Well, hey, the honor's mine. Thank you for having me.
And, I want to go way back to your first year. It's 1976, and you come over. They make room for you by trading away a gentleman to the Montreal Expos so they can make room for you in the rotation, and you go ahead. And what did it feel like to know that you were going to play with the World Series champions?
Did I know I was going to?
No, I mean, they won it in 1975. So, I mean, how was it to, make the team, be in that rotation, and play for the, the previous World Series champs?
Everywhere you look, there was an all-star on the position. Everywhere. And that was awe-inspiring. And all you had to do is go out there and do your job, up and in, low and away, and make sure that they, hit it at somebody. So, I mean, it was a lot of fun. And, because of that, and you look forward to going to the ballpark every day.
Now, when you first came up, Pat, every play, I remember when I was talking to Pete Rose one time, and Pete Rose told me, he said, when he first came up to the Reds, it was Vada Pinson and Frank Robinson that pretty much took him under his wing and taught him about the major leagues. Was there a certain player that took you under their wing when you first came on the Reds?
Pete did it. Mike Long did it. I didn't give Mike much choice. Mike was my road roomie. And, he'd been playing for 15 years, and all of a sudden they stuck him in with a kid that got up early and came in late. And, Mike.
Oh, we lost him. Let's find out what happened. We'll give him a second. Somehow we lost him, so we'll find out what happened to him. Let me try calling him back here.
Hello?
Yeah, I guess I lost you there for a minute, Pat.
What happened with the contact we had?
What do you mean? I don't know. Somehow your phone hung up, so I called you back.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, okay, here we go again.
But we got most of that in there, so that was good. It just happened. So let's talk about your first full year with the Reds. I mean, you come up, and actually your first appearance was actually in relief for the Reds, not as a starter. Did you have a problem because I know throughout your career you started and then later on you relieved. Did you have a preference? Did you rather be a starter than a reliever?
When I had enough stuff to be a starter, I wanted to be a starter. As I started losing a little off my fastball and things like that, I didn't mind being a relief pitcher. It was a lot of fun because sometimes you got to pitch every day.
Right.
And, I enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun.
Now, your first year, you go 14-7, a 2.74 ERA. What do you that first year? What do you contribute to the success you had right away in the major leagues?
I had good control. I had a good slider, a good changeup, and like I said, there was an all-star position player right behind me everywhere he wanted to look. And a lot of offense.
Now, you won the Rookie of the Year that year as well, Pat. I guess you were co-winner with a guy named Butch Metzger. How much of an honor was it to, win that award?
I was seriously proud of it. Still have the plaque over here in my trophy case. And glad that that's one of the things between that and the World Series ring and a championship. championship trophy, a World Series trophy, a few mementos.
Now, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Now I got one surprising photograph in there on the wall, myself and Mark Fidget, and we're holding a baseball and looking down at it, and we were in Detroit that night for an exhibition game, and they left that poor kid in and let him pitch all 9 innings, and oh gosh, we beat on him something like 13 or 14-1. Then there was more balls flying out of that place, and here we were. I guess I was the bat boy, and Sparky looked down and left me back in 4th or 5th inning and said, "Back, get a bat." I said, "What?" He said, "You're gonna pinch hit," and I couldn't believe it. Very first pitch was right down the middle, and I almost took his head off. I got a big kick out of that.
So, you get your Rookie of the Year, and not only that in your first year, but it seems like unbelievable first year. How can it get any better? Well, now you get to pitch in the NLCS, you get to pitch in the World Series versus the Yankees, and you end up getting a win both times by the same score of 6-2. Tell us about the experience of being in the World Classic.
The game in Philadelphia, I was lucky to escape by the skin of my teeth because Greg Luzinski almost hit one completely out of the ballpark. And we managed to come back in the bottom half of our part of the inning and scored 6 runs, and Pedro comes in and shuts them down. In the World Series game, basically same score. Danny Dreesen had a home run. Finch, I think, had a home run off of Doc Ellis. It was a lot of satisfaction. Had my mom and dad, my sister, and my niece there, and it was a lot of fun. It was a dream come true. That was something that thought about ever since I was a small child.
And then it was about 19 a year later, where all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you're traded to the New York Mets for Tom Seaver. Let's start off first. How shocked first were you when you were traded?
Well, I didn't think, since I had done so well, that they were going to trade me. And actually, the rumors were going around that Raleigh Eastwick was going to get traded. And when it came down to the cutting time, Raleigh wouldn't go. He said, "I ain't going." And I didn't have any of those kind of rights or anything, and so they traded me. Funny part was that I don't know whether y'all heard or not, but I was 3 days from getting married. I didn't care if they could have set off a nuclear bomb. I wouldn't have cared. I just wanted to get on back to Cincinnati. And she had driven her car, which was a small 1970 Carmen Ghia, from Houston with a friend. Drove it up to Cincinnati, and then I flew a friend back to Houston. And all we were going to do was go to Justice of the Peace and get married, and then have the reception at Pete's house. All the wedding gifts had come in. They were all mounted up in Pete's basement. And Carolyn was always taking care of me and taking care of Sharon and I both. And here we got traded. Walked out after the game, and she looked at me and said, "Did you just get traded?" And I said, "Yeah. Pack up your stuff, and in the morning I've got to go to New York. I'll be back in a couple of days, and if you'll still have me, we'll get married. I'll meet meet you in a week or two in Chicago or someplace. And we'll go on with this. And we had dated for, I don't know, 6 months, I guess. I would send her an airline ticket someplace, and she would come and spend the weekend whenever she could because she was teaching. And it was just love at first sight for me. I mean, you could block me over with a feather. Joe Morgan looked down the dugout, did a double take, and he said, "Oh man, you're gone." And it was the truth. She was just the prettiest thing you've ever seen.
Now, let me ask you this about that trade, Pat. You know, the Mets still say to this day that you were the principal player that they wanted in this trade. And, you know, Tom Seaver, as you know, it's no secret, was a big name, you know, for the fans and the New York Mets. How were you received when you went to New York by the media and by the fans, being the one that was involved for their, you know, for their All-Star?
I know I was under scrutiny. There was no other way of going about it. I mean, you get traded for somebody like Tom Seaver, you know, that was an honor. And but at the same time, they also had to remember there were 3 other guys in that trade too. So we all had to live up to a little bit of a reputation.
And, you know, they were some good players. I mean, it was Doug Flynn. I remember Steve Henderson. And I think it was Dan Norman that was involved in that trade. So, I mean, it was all quality baseball players.
Doug Flynn, geez, yeah. Young blood, eventually got over there. We did okay with that.
Now, you know, the following full season that you had with the Mets, you went 7-1 and made your first All-Star game. What was it like to play, you know, to be part of the All-Star game where all the top players in the league gathered?
It was a real honor. I'd worked hard by going down to Winter League Baseball in Puerto Rico. Played down there until around Christmas time and came home, and I was really ready for spring training. I had a good spring. I started off the year very fast. After the All-Star break, though, we just couldn't score any runs, doggone it. And Pete came into town. I got mad, kicked at the helmet, missed it, hit the step, broke my foot. So that cost me about the next 2 years, and you know.
Yep. You know, Pat, one of the things that impressed me about the pitches back then, and I remember watching, I actually remember the day you kicked the steps too. But because I lived in Long Island then, so I grew up, you know, a Mets fan until, you know, and I lived there for first 13 years of my life. But, you know, the one thing that impressed me about the pitches as well as yourself, if you look at your statistics, you had 29 complete games. I mean, you were a winning pitcher, 69, 67, a very, you know, I would say average to above average 3.52 ERA. But the thing that catches me that we don't see today is the complete games. Why do you think baseball has changed so much? And, you know, pitches, you know, why don't you think they're allowing pitches to go longer like they did when you pitched?
Well, nowadays they pay a top reliever damn near the same money they pay a top starter.
True.
So if a guy's going to be down there making millions, you better get him off his rear end and make him earn it. You don't want somebody going out there one pitch too many. Get a fresh arm in there that's coming in with, you know, 90 plus, 95 plus, and let him do what he's getting paid to do.
And the pitching game has changed a lot because even back then, like you were just saying, they're using those relievers, paying the relievers. But for you guys to go 200 innings back in the 70s and even the 80s, it was normal. And nowadays, I'm seeing, they have a pitch count. And I'm not really sure why they got the pitch count. Are you in favor of, if you were pitching today, would you be in favor of a pitch count?
Probably not. You could see when I was tired when I would start giving up a lot of base hits or runs. But the thing there is, so I've seen some guys go out there and get their second win. At the same time, you've got some of these people that want to go out there and throw 200 plus pitches. That's silly. For that purpose, I wouldn't think that it'd be a good idea to let somebody throw that many. But if you put like 100 pitch limit on a starter.
No, I was talking 200 innings. I'm sorry.
No, but I mean, even 200 innings, nowadays you're lucky to get that many.
Right.
And they have a pitch count, they have so many relievers that they're paying, so you got to use them.
So let me ask you this, Pat, and I don't know if you have an answer for this, but even with the pitchers back when you pitched, including yourself, you would go over 100 pitches. You'd pitch complete games, and you never. I'm not going to say. I mean, you might have had arm issues, but it seems like today there is so much more Tommy John surgery than you've ever seen. And I know with COVID right now, the arms are being used differently, but I'm talking even before this year. What do you think is causing all these pitchers to have Tommy John surgery when in your day they weren't?
If I just had to guess, an uneducated guess, between a slider and a split finger, I think that's probably the main issue because it's a tough pitch to throw. It's hard on your elbow and forearm. I've got a nice zipper on my elbow from throwing sliders. It took about a year and a half off of my career, so I wished I hadn't had it, but I was okay after that. But a split finger is a hard pitch to throw. Some guys throw the knuckle curve and stuff like that. I don't know. Pitching itself is hard on your body, so it's just something you've got to be in physical condition for year-round.
Now, Pat, did you have that one guy that you played against that you said, Don, I hope he doesn't have to hit versus me today? The one guy that you had like the most trouble succeeding versus?
The most trouble what?
A hitter that you just owned you, let's say, that no matter what you did.
Everybody in the National League, guy. Come on, bud. Here's a story for you. Several months back, before we got all this pandemic crap, I was at my sister's house and we were eating some barbecue dinner, and the TV set was about 40 feet away from me toward the fireplace. We were in the kitchen and my seat just happened to look right at the TV set. And the Astros were having their big Hall of Fame induction. And there was Craig Biggio and Jeff Bagwell and Mike Scott, who I played with, with the Mets. And there's a guy that they taught him the split finger. Oh, you talk about what got nasty. And they're Nolan Ryan, all these guys, Jose Cruz. And I look up about that time and they're showing Jose Cruz hitting a 3-run homer. And I just dropped my rib on my plate and I was, oh, Schmidt. And my sister looked up and she said, what? I said, they just showed me giving up a 3-run homer. And of course, she jumps up, feeble as she is, jumps up, runs over and grabs the remote. They will all watch this thing about 15 or 20 times. I thought, well, you dirty souls, you.
Let me ask you this question before I let you run, Pat. You played for some great managers. I know you started with Sparky Anderson. You had Joe Torre with the Mets before he went on, to win many World Series championships. I believe you played with Tommy Lasorda as well. Did you have one of those great managers that if you had a pick, you just loved playing for?
I guess if I had to do all over again, I'd play for Joe. Anytime. I mean, they were all easy to play for. Seriously, Sparky had it his way or the highway. And that was the same way with the Reds in general. And having 6 years in the minor leagues to get used to it, when I got there, I knew what was expected of me. Now, I'm not saying I didn't try to buck the, get rid of the spit the bit every now and then, but with Joe, I thought I was the luckiest guy in the world. All he did, he said, hey, here's the ball, you just go pitch. And that was the greatest thing in the world for me. Tommy, I never know where I stood with Tommy because when I got over there, I've got an interesting picture of the Dodgers bullpen. And there's about 6 or 7 guys in there. Dave Stewart, Joe Beckwith, Tom Niedenfuhr, myself. Who else is in there? But in '83, we just had an awesome ball club. And, Stewart, of course, goes on with Oakland, does so well after he gets over to Philadelphia and works with Gus Heflin. All those guys over there, Welch, Cy Young winner. There were so many good ball players and pitchers over there. Philadelphia, I didn't know Felsky at all. That was the weirdest situation I'd ever been in my life because I got released a week before they had a 1-day strike and I couldn't get back in. So, baseball knew they were going to pull that crud. It was just a question of me making too much money and they were going to hire somebody else who was going to make the minimum doing the same job. So I came home, opened up the batting cage, and the rest was history.
Let me ask you this last question before I let you run, my friend. If you have to go back through your career, though, and I know it's hard because you've had so much success, but if there's one moment that and I know there's probably a lot, but the one moment you treasure the most when you look back at your career, what would it be?
Winning the world game in the World Series.
Versus the Yankees.
Yes. But I had my mother and dad, my sister, and my niece up there watching.
And was that in Yankee Stadium or was that in Cincinnati?
No, that was at Yankee Stadium.
Wow.
Yankee Stadium. Mom and Dad, just a dream come true. Dream come true for my parents.
Well, listen, Pat, I want to thank you so very, very much for giving us the opportunity to speak to you tonight on Frankly Speaking Sports. It was definitely my pleasure.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Thanks for thinking of me, and I appreciate it if I can ever help you again.
All right, you be safe, sir.
Yes, sir. Good night.
Good night. That are in the major leagues. First year in the major leagues, you win the Rookie of the Year. You win a game in the National League Championship, and you win the World Series, all by the end of your first year. Just an incredible, incredible story there for Pat Zachary. So we want to thank him. We also want to give you a quick update here. It is now in overtime. We're not going to stay on unless they score in the next 5 to 30 seconds. But the Lightning obviously are tied up with the Boston Bruins 2-2. The Bruins scored late in the third to tie it up, and they are now in overtime. The overtime just began. So that's how it stands right now with the Lightning and the Boston Bruins. Want to thank you all for tuning in on our very new platform tonight, B2 Live, our new TV station. Hope everybody enjoyed our show tonight, and we'll be back tomorrow on another edition of Frankly Speaking Sports. Good night.